Hetepu, Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Harun Nefer. This is Kasank Maya Keparu with another video for you. And in this video, I want to talk about the actor Billy D. Williams. But before I do that, I would like for you to hit the like button on this video. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live or when I upload recorded videos. Last but not least, please share this video with family and friends. It's important we get the word out and free the planet. So, this title says Star Wars actor Billy D. Williams identifies as gender fluid. I remember when I was really young, my mother and her girlfriends all going crazy over Billy D. Williams. He was a big sex symbol back then. And there was one Christmas in particular that my mother had purchased Billy D. Williams action figure. He played Lando Calrissian in Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. So my brother got the Lando Calrissian action figure and the Millennium Falcon, and he was so happy with that. But it's very disturbing now what we see as a trend, especially when it comes to people of color, African Americans, males. So let's go deeper into this article. The actor we all know as the cool cape-clad Lando Calrissian in the 1980s Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back has revealed in an interview with Esquire that they identify as gender fluid. That that's weird. The now 82-year-old actor Billy D. Williams told the magazine, "I say himself and herself because I also see myself as feminine as well as masculine," going on to say, "I'm very soft person. I'm not afraid to show that side of myself." Okay, let's keep going. In an interview with Matt Miller, writing for Esquire, Williams says, "I never try to be anything except myself. I think of myself as a relatively colorful character who doesn't take himself or herself too seriously." The actor, artist, and clothing designer, I didn't know he's into clothing, okay, who now lives in California, spoke to Miller from the Russian Tea Room in New York. Oh, I've been there, where both dined on chicken Kiev, calling ahead to make sure Williams' favorite menu item was still available. Williams grew up in New York City on the edge of Harlem, where guys on the street had a little more smoothness about them, says Williams. It was Williams' portrayal in the role of Lando Calrissian which earned the character the label of the most charismatic figure in the galaxy. Later on, when actor Donald Glover played the role in 2018 Solo: A Star Wars Story, and that movie bombed. Writer for the film, Jonathan Kasdan, told the Huffington Post that Lando Calrissian's character is pansexual. Pansexual meaning anything goes. All right, let's go on. Kasdan said there is a fluidity to Donald and Billy D's sexuality, speaking on the two actors' portrayal of the role. Glover said in an interview on Cyrus, "How can you not be pansexual in space?" Going on to say, "You're in space, the door is wide open." Williams will reprise his role as Lando Calrissian for The Rise of Skywalker, which no one will go to see, which is the final film in the Skywalker saga. The movie is set to release December 20th, 2019. I'd rather watch paint dry than go see that movie. And will contain unused footage of Carrie Fisher to help complete the story. Fisher died in 2016 before filming was complete. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. What you are seeing here is an outright attack on black male masculinity. And I liken this to the bully in the schoolyard, the big bully who picks on the weaker kids. He won't pick on anybody his size. So what you have here is you have Hollywood trying to push his propaganda, and they're picking on African Americans, or specifically African American males, because they don't have a platform to where they can speak on a global level or to defend themselves. And we know this because the high African Americans have a high unemployment rate. In terms of college enrollment, they are not enrolling in college on the same level as African American women. I want you to understand how this works. And I'm going to give you some inside knowledge on this. And this is coming from actors who've worked in the business. And you know myself, I work in the business, so I am a Hollywood insider. You see, Hollywood takes its orders from so-called special interest groups, okay? And these special interest groups or these think tanks are like the Council on the Foreign Relations, okay? And then what they do is they determine the direction they want society to go in. And then they work in conjunction with Hollywood to pump out propaganda to get you to accept this. Same as it used to be in medieval times or in ancient times where you had the troubadours, the king and queen would say, okay, we're going to have to raise taxes. And they would hire the troubadours to go from town to town singing and dancing and would bring you the news. And that news was always softened up by their buffoonery and clowning and their song and dance. So you got that horrible news that you're going to have to pay more taxes, but you were entertained in the process. And nothing has changed with Hollywood. So they work two ways. Number one, the insiders in Hollywood would approach the actor and say, if you will say that you're gender fluid, we'll give you extra money. If the actor says no, then they say, well, we will blacklist you. I mean, they won't say it as bluntly, but that actor will no longer be given any work. He'll essentially be on the unemployment line. So their goal is to get rid of the genders. And but there's something darker at this. They want to attack and get to your children. They want to get you at a very, very young age, which is why Star Wars has a lot of politics injected into it. And one of the reasons why it's failing at the box office. The last film, The Last Jedi, was horrible. Okay? So they're specifically aiming at African American males because historically, from the first film, The Birth of a Nation, the white supremacist movement have always been afraid of black male sexuality. This is why they would lynch them and cut off their penis or castrate them. And they were afraid that white women would be attracted to these black men. This is why when you go back in the record industry with labels like Motown, when they would come out with their music, they had to put white models on the cover of the album because that would keep the sales going because they didn't, well, parents at that time, the white parents didn't like their daughters coming home with black music. So even though it was very, very popular, it presented a problem for them. Their solution was to create Elvis Presley. And if you look at how he gyrates, you know, below the waist, you know what I'm talking about. They don't want a black male doing that, and they definitely don't want white women falling for these singers. And something very important that you should know is that music has no color. Music speaks to the emotional side of you, and especially with women, because women are emotional. They started to become attracted to the black male singers. So that was always a point of contention. Now we're seeing this happen, and the attack is going on, and they're enlisting the top male, masculine, black actors and singers to come out and say that they're gender fluid. It wasn't enough that you had Prince and Michael Jackson, who were very feminine or metrosexual. They now have to go after the most masculine black men and turn them to make them pansexual or gender fluid. And next is their kids. You see, many people don't want to talk about this, but Hollywood has a long history of being run by pedophiles. Corey Feldman outed them in regards to this. But what he failed to also mention was that there is a lot of Satanism or Satan worship in Hollywood. Again, this is all coming from the ruling elite, the think tank institutions, which decide how they want the direction of the culture to go. And right now, black men are the canary in the coal mine. They are the litmus test, the testing grounds. If you're an actor and you play ball, you will get money, you will get accolades, you will get parts coming at you left and right. And I want to point to an example of Charlize Theron, who did something so despicable. That was to adopt a young African American boy, put a dress on him, and call him a woman. And if you notice, when she did this, she started receiving more roles, and her climb has always, well, put it to you this way, her climb is now steady. She's getting more roles, more prominent positions as a white woman. She has made a pact with the devil. And this is what they are doing, and this is what they want to do. So, to all you African American women out there, you have to be very careful. To all you actors out there, you have to be very careful. You're dealing with a beast that will do whatever it takes to change the direction of the planet, to send us into a dark future where there will be no gender. And again, they are the bullies in the school playground, picking on those who can't defend themselves, African American males. This is Kusank Ma Keparu, son of Maat and Tahuti. My aunt is a beautiful goddess, Hedaru. Until my next video, I'm in Ra.